Hi, my beautiful loves. It's Shiloh Wood here from Perfect Shade Cosmetics. Today, I am going to be showing you a foolproof method on how to apply your makeup while you're wearing a mask. Remember, ladies, it is really important to be wearing a cotton mask that is loosely fitting on your face, does not slip off your nose, but make sure that you are safe throughout the day. There are a number of ladies that still wear makeup under the mask during the day because they don't feel very confident. At some point during the day, they would possibly take off their mask and, they just don't feel confident without their makeup. However, I need to emphasize that by wearing the mask, you're actually breathing into the mask and creating a moist environment in which bacteria grows, which explains why I'm seeing an increased number of ladies over the past year with breakouts specifically around the mouth area. However, if you still want to wear makeup under your mask, then these steps will ensure that you have a foolproof method to ensure that it does not smudge off. However, the steps that I'm about to show you will ensure that your makeup lasts throughout the day with minimal or no wiping off on your mask, depending on the type of mask you're wearing. So I have cleansed my face with the amino acid soap, and this is really important in your first step, simply because you need to create a matte base, remove all excess sebum so that you have a firm matte base for your makeup to last. It's really like a house, like building a house, where if your foundation is not really stable, then the house does collapse. Secondly, please identify your skin type. This is so important when it comes to my brand because we have two different types of foundations. One is for really dry skin, which is the first concealer, moist consistency. And the second is for really oily skin or all skin types, and that is the Ultra Essence range. On our website, you will see specifically the two types of foundations, and how to differentiate between the two is if the first word on the ingredients is aqua, you have the Ultra Essence range. If it is anything else, then you have the concealer consistency, moist consistency, which is for really dry skin. So, secondly, you also need to skip on your skincare during the day, especially for ladies that have really oily skin. Your repairing work and hydration needs to be done at night, and during the day, you really need to wear minimal in terms of skincare and moisturizing your skin. Alternatively, what you can do, and if the time permits, then I would suggest that you wake up an hour earlier and apply your skincare and allow at least an hour for your skin to absorb all of your skincare so that by the time you apply your makeup, it is not feeling greasy on the skin. However, this method is not always practical because of the time factor. So I have cleansed my skin with the amino acid soap. That is the first step in my skincare, and as well as my makeup routine as well. So the next step is my fixing spray. Make sure your fixing spray is alcohol-based and has no silicone in it. Silicone primers and fixing sprays creates moisture and a very greasy base, and this is definitely going to make your makeup blotch during the course of the day. So please ensure there's no silicone or any silicone derivatives in your fixing spray as well as your primer. So I'm going to spray on a liberal amount. And I'm just going to wait for that to dry. My next step is our Photoshop primer, and this is a must in your makeup kit. This is the SPF 50. It also has anti-aging ingredients in it. It has anti-inflammatory ingredients, which is excellent for inflamed conditions like acne rosacea, eczema and psoriasis as well. I've seen some amazing results with our Photoshop primer. Not only that, but it blurs out your marks so that you actually wear a lot less makeup than you would normally apply. So I'm going to apply less than a pea size amount for my face, but it really is recommended that you use a pea size amount for your skin because you are going to be taking it right down to your neckline as well. So give it a good rub into your skin, gently patting around the eyes, over the eye area as well. And it actually needs to be on every bit of exposed skin. So that includes your neck as well. Now remember that this is titanium dioxide based, so you really need to give it a good rub into your skin. And if you're finding that it is leaving a white residue, then it just means that you have not blended it into your skin enough. And immediately you can see how it has smoothened my skin, filled the pores, removed all excess oil. It is so matte and smooth at the moment. There's no greasiness on the skin. And there we go. You can see it close up and you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so next is a step that I find is one of the most important steps because it really does ensure and locks in all of the moisture. It ensures that your makeup is really going to last the entire day. So I use a wet beauty blender. It must not be over wet. It must be slightly damp. And what I actually do is just pat on my powder. I'm currently going to be using number 3 powder because I've spent some time in the sun. So I'm gone down to number 3 powder, which is this. And it's the Shiloh Beauty number 3. There we go. Right, so all I'm going to do is take a wet beauty blender. We currently have this online and in stores for 60 Rand, and there's different types. So you can choose your preference, what you like, whether you like the one that's got a flat side or you like just the teardrop shaped one. I'm using the teardrop shape, and I'm going to pat on powder on my entire face. And you can see what it does. It absorbs all of the oil. So I get quite oily around my mouth. So that's where I'm going to bake a little bit extra. So baking just means leaving it on the skin to absorb into the skin so that every bit of moisture and oil is completely locked in and there's no chance of it getting blotchy during the day. I find this is the most important step in my makeup routine, and even after I've applied my foundation, I use the wet beauty blender to seal it. The reason I've had to change the steps is simply because of the mask, and I really had to figure out a way for it to last the entire day with the mask on, and it doesn't even cause those lines that's here when you're using the wet beauty blender, which is something that I really love. Okay, so that's enough of powder. Next, I'm going to apply my Real Eye Cream. So the Real Eye Cream is for puffiness, is for bags. So you can skip on the step if you don't have any of that. But what I find is that my makeup actually lasts a lot longer on the lid, especially with eyeshadow, when I put on the Real Eye Cream. So I'm going to pat it in and try and remain expressionless for 3 minutes, because I find that if you move even a little bit around the eye area, it can affect the effectiveness and efficiency of the product. So it's imperative. So it's important to really stay really expressionless and not move the eye area or any area where you are applying this for at least 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to go on to the next step, which is a corrector. Now, the importance of a corrector is this. So I'm going to be using Latte in the Shiloh Beauty range, and that is the Ultra Essence. You can also differentiate it by the stickers or with the first word, which is Aqua. And that simply means that this foundation range is water-based. So it's not going to be oily on your skin. And it really is going to give you that moisture. It's a perfect balance between moisture as well as ensuring durability during the course of the day. So the importance of a corrector, back to the corrector and the importance, is that without a corrector, your darker areas, the areas that are darker than your natural skin complexion, will come through your foundation at some point during the day. A lot of companies and brands sell the concealer. However, the concealer is added coverage with a thicker consistency that needs to be applied over the foundation and the corrector. However, that being said, if you are using a corrector, there is no need for a concealer. And I've proven this more times than I can explain. So your corrector actually does like 80% of your coverage work. So I'm going to apply it with one of our fluffy Focalure brushes that is currently in stock. They come in a 6-piece set, or you can actually purchase them separately. You can see the residue from the Real Eye Cream, and that's normal. That just means that I've put extra than I'm supposed to. And if you do have a heavy hand like I do, then all you're going to do is just put your corrector over, and if there's still residue, you can just apply a small amount of water, a drop of water over the residue just to blend it in more. These instructions are in the leaflet with your Real Eye Cream. Remember, ladies, all our skincare is less 20% at the moment, online and in stores. I love how the Real Eye Cream just removes all puffiness, especially if I've had a late night and, you know, I wake up in the morning and I'm looking a bit just really tired. Then my first go-to product after the soap is my Real Eye Cream while I do the rest of my day. Okay, so that's my latte corrector. I'm going to correct around here as well. Corrector should take you about 20 seconds to apply in your darker areas, and don't blend it in. I'm going to cover that as well, and you can see immediately it gets covered. Slight freckles here. Very important to choose your mask wisely. I bought these high fashion masks that looked beautiful on the outside, but actually had so much of pigment in terms of the dye that it started to cause some pigmentation on my skin, which thankfully my lady skincare has improved the pigmentation within a month. So please be careful with the darker masks that has a dark dye or has been dyed dark. It can cause a little bit of pigmentation together with the sweat and the moisture during the day. It causes the dye to run. So just do your research as to what masks you actually are going to be using. Currently, I'm actually a caramel. As explained, I spent some time in the sun, so I got quite dark. So I'm using a caramel foundation on my skin, and I'm going to show you how it really works well in terms of blending. So you can go up to 2 or 3 shades darker or lighter and still look good with the Shiloh Beauty foundations and powders. So that's caramel. I just wanted to match my hands, so I'm not going too light on my face because I did spend a significant amount of time in the sun. Next, I'm using my foundation brush just to blend it away, but it is also important to use a beauty blender to pack it in once the foundation is blended in with your brush. With the brush, can let the foundation sit on the skin a little bit, so when you pack it in with the blender, it just gets deeper into the skin and gives you a smoother finish, and also ensures that it stays longer during the day and doesn't move off your skin. Pat over the eye area, pat. And now I'm going to pack it in with my wet blender. Next, I'm going to apply some foundation underneath my eyes to make sure it gets into the lines underneath the eyes, and just use your concealer brush for this. Next, I'm going to apply my powder underneath the eyes. I'm going with a number 3 underneath the eyes so it doesn't look dark and hollow. And then the rest of my face, I'm going to use number 5 powder. Alternatively, you could just use a lighter foundation under your eyes and stick to one powder. So it just depends on your preference. I prefer to go with the lighter powder because it just stays a lot longer and looks brighter during the course of the day. Okay, so I'm going to just leave that to bake. And then I'm using the number 5. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use the wet beauty blender after this. For ladies that have pigmentation on their cheeks or around their mouth or any area that needs extra coverage, I suggest you use the dry powder puff over these areas first and then use the wet blender over it and the rest of your face to ensure that it does not move off when you put something wet over the concealed areas. Okay, now I'm going to remove the number 3. And then I'm going to take my powder brush, folio, and just brush off the excess. So that's basically all it is, ladies. So just to run through the steps again. And before I start off, I'm just going to spray my face with fixing spray, and then I'm going to run through all of the steps. So fixing spray again. Ladies, I'm going to finish my look and see you in 5 minutes. So my beautiful loves, I finished off my look with a combination of my Shiloh Beauty palette. That is a Radiant Image palette, and also I did my lips with the Folklore number 2 lip matte. I don't know if you ladies can see that, but it's the number 2 and the number 10 gloss in the Folklore range. And then I used a little bit of the Radiant Image highlighter palette with bronze and Kimiko on my lids. And then I finished off with liner on the outer corner, top and bottom, and mascara top and bottom in the Miss Rose range. I also did my brows with the Folklore pencil. This is the black pencil. We currently have the black and the brown, and I use the black pencil. And I finish off my look with fixing spray. So ladies, if you'd like this look and you'd like to know more about what I've used on my face, then please WhatsApp us on 079-272-4713. I'd also like to recap and go through the steps again as to how to ensure that your makeup lasts through the entire day and to make sure that it does not rub off on your mask. First things first, ladies, please establish your skin type so that you're choosing the right foundation according to your skin type needs. Skip on your skincare if you have really oily skin. Thereafter, start off with washing your face with amino acid soap to remove all excess sebum and to make sure that your face is nice and matte for the rest of your makeup. Start off with fixing spray, that is any alcohol-based fixing spray. Thereafter, use your primer. Then set your face with a setting powder and a wet beauty blender. Real eye cream underneath your eyes. Thereafter, if you have dark circles and bags, wait for 3 minutes. Then start off with your corrector, your foundation, and your powder again. Set it with a wet beauty blender. And lastly, finish off with fixing your face over the entire face. You can do this look like what I've just told you with all of the products that I've mentioned above. And you can also WhatsApp us if you have any queries about any of the steps or any of the skincare that is currently on special for less 20% online and in stores. Much love from me, Shiloh. I hope this tutorial has been really informative and that you're going to get great success with ensuring that your makeup lasts throughout the day. Bye.